Hey, Allison, I have a question for you.
Yes.
You should know by now what is a excellent choice for you or your family to get your needs met, to get healing and growth from therapy or from counselors or like mental health stuff. Where would you go to do that?
No questions asked. GPS. GPS therapies.
Well, I appreciate that.
But really tell me about GPS therapies. Like what's going on there that you are like super excited about, most proud of right now? Like why would anyone want to go there?
I appreciate you asking that unprompted question, Allison. Thank you. Um, well, GPS therapies used to be Chris Kate Counseling, but I thought it'd be a good idea to call it GPS therapies for all kinds of reasons, and you can see that on our website. But we have over 30 different providers in 5 offices, meeting the needs of people and like all ages of individuals. We see couples. We help people with anxiety and depression and OCD and relationship problems and a lot of that stuff. Like people need help in moving through their lives to get from where they are to where they want to be, where they need to be. And we have people that care, providing healing and growth, like who are just awesome professionals. Like they're great at what they do.
What about like if I needed to get testing done for myself, for my kiddo, do you have that option?
Yeah, right. So like every intake that we have is a general like kind of psych, emotional, relational evaluation. But also this year we rolled out the service of psychological testing, like for educational purposes or deeper diagnostics. Like if you're like, hey, it would be helpful when it comes to maybe medications or therapy direction or what I'm going to do with my life to have a deeper understanding of what a bigger differential diagnosis is. Okay, that might be ADHD or it might be, well, gosh, the gamut. And we have several different test batteries that are being done now. And the other thing that makes it special is that in our world where we live, most people have to wait like 6 months to get on a waiting list to do this. And since we've rolled it out, we're able to help people on their tests and get turned around in less than a month. Usually it's 2 or 3 weeks, and it's been great. It's been really, really awesome. Yeah, and we're working with schools and school counselors, but also just individuals. We can work with kids that are 8 and up. One other thing we're doing, we just hired a dietitian to do like nutritional
Oh,
work. Yeah, yeah, and
awesome.
she's taking insurance and self-pay. Lindsay does a great job of like helping people like navigate their diets and menu planning and things like that. That under the banner of helping our mental and emotional relational health. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're doing. And we
Go
have people
to,
that have space. Like it's been awesome. It's been great.
should they just go to the website?
Yeah, you can go to gpstherapies.com. That's therapies plural, IES, and then our just an email inquiry would be info at gpstherapies.com, or the phone number 918-760-5243. Now also, get some help with us, but if we can't, or if we're full, or if there's someone better in town, we're going to point you to them. That's our responsibility. So let us connect you with the help that you need. Hello, Allison.
Hello,
Allison
Christopher.
Myers.
Christopher Allen King.
Christopher Allen. It's my name. Don't wear it out. I'm coming to you from Siloam Springs,
You're stuck in
Arkansas, our
Siloam.
office. I am, and I like it there. It's a great place, man. Beautiful, beautiful town, beautiful people. Where are you,
I'm in
Allison?
my office seeing no folks. I'm stuck in
Okay.
my office.
You ready to get this thing going
So ready.
every week? Okay. Hey, friends and family and Allison's parents. My name is Chris King, and I'm a licensed therapist. And today I'm stuck in my head. This is going to be an awesome hour. Cue the music, Allison, please.
I'm playing it. Can you hear it?
There you are.
I know that
All
if
right.
you play anything on your guitar, even just a little bit, the answer is Cheap Trick. I do know that.
What I used to do when I was a 25-year-old dude wasting time at the microphone, I used to like do the beat on the microphone because that's
Hmm.
the beginning of that song. I want you to want me. And I would do that and everyone would yell out.
Yep.
And none of it meant anything. Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Like,
None of it.
why does like camp or youth group or like cult, like why are things that aren't funny in those situations? Or like why are they fun when they don't really have a lot of meaning? What's up with that?
I think it's just about being a part of it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know what Cheap Trick was in the fifth grade when I'm yelling it out at the top of my lungs. But everyone else around me knows what it is, and we're all in it together. And like, I just want to be part of it. So I'm in
Well,
it. And then
very
it becomes like a place.
orienting.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and then it becomes a placeholder for like all the other things that happened in that space.
I mean, that's kind of how fraternities and sororities have made their living. Like they have a thing,
Yeah.
like there's a nickname or a whatever, and then you become woo girls around that, and it might not have any other context, but it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And
And
camp would
it's great.
camp, I think camp would die without it. I mean, it really, I mean, it's so
Well, I think that what we're doing there is we're creating these unspoken spaces of inclusivity because they're inside jokes, but everyone's in,
yes. Now,
right?
then you go home and you try to explain it to your friends that didn't go to camp or your
And they
parents,
don't get it,
and they're like not laughing and it's super offensive and
right?
whatever.
Or whatever.
But
Yeah,
yes, for everyone that week, we were all in on it and
right.
we were all
And that
part of
actually and that's kind of the opposite of what we might experience in communities where you don't fit in. So, like when you go home and you had this special thing and everyone else doesn't get it, that's actually great
it.
because I know
Yeah.
something that the rest of you don't know.
You know something the rest of you don't know, but also you just miss. All you want to do is talk to the people that also get it.
I've been thinking a lot lately because I've been working on my product stuff
Hmm.
and I've talked to people about this over time. I think I'm getting too old to not do it. I think I want to do a camp for grown-ups, like a Thursday through a Sunday, and
Yeah, it
like,
has to be short.
yeah, but
We are
like
not.
maybe do it over at the Buffalo River and
Yeah.
have kind of some of our material for like growth points, but then like have the day where it's just a lot of going out and hiking and doing the thing.
But also
I
like
think I really want to do
silly
that.
games like Cheeto Head and stuff. No, we're too old for
I
that.
don't know about
Too
that.
messy.
I think maybe we might have a square dance,
I love a square dance, but
right?
I would go to grown-up
Uh,
camp, big kid, big
yeah, I
grown
know.
camp.
I think people I mean, I don't know if we showed them value, I think it'd be awesome. I hate coordinating things, and beyond hating it, I'm terrible at it. I'd like to do it like on the Buffalo River, but I'd also like to do it like in the Rockies or, Northern California.
Well, we know a guy who has a camp in Colorado.
Hmm.
If you're
We
listening,
do.
which you're not, but if you
No,
were,
he's not.
I'll let him come to camp
Yeah.
for free.
Yeah, right. Okay, so like that's a good segue to segment one. What is stuck in your head? So last week you were kind of like super serious,
I
and
know.
I'm like, I know, and well, this is great. This is good. What's going on? Been stuck in your head this week, Alison?
Well, no, I don't know. I guess I'm realizing I'm not as silly or fun as I thought I was. Because
You
like
said that last week because I
I
listened to last
know,
week's just
I
today.
know. And I gotta tell you, Chris, I'm gonna be vulnerable and honest with you and everyone listening in the United Arab Emirates. This question stresses me out. I don't know
Oh,
why,
really?
but like I think about it ahead of
Oh, you
time.
got to
Like,
come up with
oh,
something.
I'm like, what am I gonna say? The Olympics are over. Like, I'd rather react to what you're thinking about than figure out what I'm thinking about.
So things been stuck in my head this week. A big thing has been my work and the book I'm working on. I'm working on a workbook and a journal for people to use for their own personal development on the relationship hack, and also just angles on it that it's expanding. I think that what's been kind of exciting is that there's been some tools that have allowed me to think about it in like a practical sense, like if
Mm.
I'm doing a workshop or if I'm teaching a thing online or if I go to or a conference or if I'm doing a session. I'm going to be giving a lot of energy to that. It's been kind of fun as being creative like that. And that also kind of pulls me out of some sort of pseudo management role in our company and more into the do what I do well, which is like, protect the mission, advance the vision, and support the people, bring
Yeah.
them in. So that's been a lot on my brain, a lot on my head, a lot. And some of that's about development, like the Richard Rohr book, Falling Upward, which is
Oh yeah.
something everyone should read. It's just a powerful thing. But my age is, I'm thinking about that a little bit. Like I'm going to do a thing. Like let's do it now.
Did
Um,
you notice an age where you started thinking about your age? Does that make sense? Like, did you hit a certain point
mhm.
you were like, "Whoa, I'm this old. If I'm gonna do it, I better do it." Like
Yeah, 50.
50.
50 was, I shouldn't be 50.
Well, you're not.
Like I'm closer to 60. Uh, There's just a certain thing about coming to terms with your age that becomes a little less carefree and then maybe can evolve to being carefree again, where you're
Mm,
like, I guess this is what we got. So go do the thing and try not to give a shit.
yeah.
Like really care and then don't give a shit. Like that
Why,
combination.
why doesn't that usually happen until when it does?
I don't know, but I think that there's a lot of lifetime energy trying to navigate our brains and bodies and experiences up to adulthood. So it's like subconsciously we're trying to like make it work out and like find peaceful places and like find our mate and not cause too much trouble and be ourselves or
Find
be who
ourselves.
God wants. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and like avoid bad things, move towards good things. Just all this energy, make a living, and then raising your children. Like it's like there it feels like there's just like lost years
Yeah.
because you're just so heavily into everything. So I think you're responding out of habit and bodily, I'll say what I thought, bodily urges.
Whoa, hey.
Yeah, right.
Hey.
But like, when I say urge, I mean like just kind of like the
Yeah.
way your body just always does things just over and
Reacting.
over and
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you're just reacting, right? And then a lot of times people get to their 40s and they get a little tired and they're like certain things aren't working. So then they try to reset and then hitting 50. Um, for me, it was big because like my mom didn't make it to 51.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm like, oh my
That
gosh, like,
had something different attached to it then. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I think so. So I do think about that. I don't think about it like cryptically really anymore.
Hmm.
I mean, I did a little bit for a while, but like now I'm kind of like chop chop. Let's do the
Yeah.
thing.
Let's do adult camp.
Um, the last thing was, and I mentioned this last week briefly, but I've been thinking a lot about the story of the prodigal son, and then you camped on that too. And
Yes.
my point in that was that I had been kind of up to my eyeballs trying to make sure that the people that I cared for, be it the people on my team or my children or my wife or whoever, which just sounds very elementary, but that I didn't let them down or that I wouldn't be the cause of their pain. Like it's a lot of these codependent kind of things.
Hmm.
And when I started feeling it up to my eyeballs, I'm like, I can't do what you want necessarily. So anyway, the idea of level one prodigal son is like about the prodigal son. Level two would be about the good son, like he's the main character, meaning Jesus is talking to the like the people of Israel and to the religious leaders, and everyone's standing around going like, "Hello, you give this grace to.
Yeah.
I've been here all along. I've been working my
Yeah.
tail.
He's
What's
doing
up?"
all the rules.
Right, right. And in Henry Nouwen's book, The Return of the Prodigal Son, like he really lays that out in a really awesome way. Yeah, isn't it great? It's
Yes.
such an awesome book. Just the whole Renoir thing and all that. It's just awesome. Everyone, if you're listening, if you're not
Read it.
listening,
You
listen,
can.
read that book, Return of the Prodigal Son by Henry Nouwen. But one of the things that he does in it that's so awesome is that he invites us to inhabit the space of every character
Hmm.
in the parable. And I had really never inhabited the place of the Father.
Mm.
And so when I was thinking about it, I thought that line that the Father says to the good son, he says, "My son, uh, I love you and all that I have is yours.
Yeah.
But this brother of yours, this son of mine who was lost is now found.
Yeah.
And so we have to celebrate."
We have to. Yeah.
And then it's like scene,
Yeah. And then
like
just like,
done, over, over.
yeah.
And so I was like, oh my gosh, the good son, the story ends with a good son standing there with his like WTF, right? He's just like, what,
Yeah.
what's the
Like,
deal?
yeah. It doesn't
And the
tie.
father, no. And the father says, I love you and all I have is yours. So I'm in. Also, this thing you want right now, I ain't gonna do it
Yeah.
because I'm
Yeah.
doing the other thing.
Well, so ironically, I've
So
also
tell me
been,
your thoughts.
yeah, well, so I've also been, we're actually doing a series in our high school group on the parable of Prodigal Son and chopped up into three bits. And I
Yeah.
am teaching on the father. So I too have been spending a lot of time with this guy who I just love the actual most. I love, I love that. I think if, I think if we could get out of the way sometimes, we being human beings, like, this parable is supposed to be a picture of like the kingdom of God is like, right? Like it's like this.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he tells this
Hmm.
story. It's just so beautiful. And do you know who Nadia Bolz-Weber is? I for sure said her.
No.
Well, she's everything. Okay. If you don't know her, you should. And she actually wrote, I think it's actually the transcript from a little like sermon or message or whatever. But she's like, hey, True Confessions, I actually thought that the word prodigal meant like lost and then came home or whatever. Coming
Hmm.
home after being like gone or lost. She's like, it's actually not at all what it means. Uh, it means spending resources freely and recklessly, um, being wastefully extravagant. And then actually talks about how then she changes it and uses the word prodigal on the Father, that he is actually wastefully extravagant with his love
Hmm.
and his grace and his mercy and his kindness, that he is actually the prodigal and he is also a prodigal of sorts. But by our standards, like that son, that younger son doesn't deserve it. He didn't earn it. And
Yeah.
therefore it's wasteful to lavish these chances and gifts and love and acceptance on this naughty boy that you raised. And
Yeah. Yeah.
but like I was like, yes. Like, I
Mm.
don't know. I think a lot about, I spend a lot of time in my head like on picture of God stuff, like what is my picture of God? And if this was our picture of God, that he was just wastefully extravagant with his love toward us, like I wonder how I wonder how that would change everything. Like how I experience him, how I see other people, like
Hmm. Yeah.
I just love it. I love it so much.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
really
always think about
powerful.
my own kids. Like I can't
Yeah. Yeah.
like I just cry every time I think about the dad, like seeing him when he's still far away. Because, like, if my
Ugh.
kids were gone, like, you bet your ass every day I'm looking out that
Yeah.
window. Like, it's today. But was also, like, risky enough to let him leave in the first place.
Yeah. And also risky enough to let the good son down after he had earned a right to complain, but he could also let him down. I'm just reminded of like when we see God or Jesus represented, there's just such like purpose. Like this is who I do and where I'm going and what I'm going to do. And I do it with love. You know, I don't do it another way because it's not who I am.
Yeah. I
It's
mean, if
just,
that is the only snap, if that's the only piece of the Bible you ever had as your picture of what it meant to be a part of the kingdom or how the king saw you or whatever,
yeah,
sign me up. Sign me up. Sign
pretty
everybody.
good.
Why would we not want to be a part of that?
Uh-huh. So I wrote a little thing today that I was going to put in the book. It was about being stuck.
Uh,
And so the relationship hack, the idea is that everything is in relationship. All problems are relationship problems. And if we can radically accept our current position, our orientation, so to speak, that puts us in a place where we can heal and grow.
mhm.
Like that we can take steps to be found if we're lost, or we can take steps to get unstuck. If we are stuck, we can go on adventure and we can move forward. And the map can, if the map gets wiped clean, the map can get more clear again. Like if we
Mhm.
see the world like this. And I wrote this just about the getting stuck part. Many times we have to go on an adventure with a guide, which could be called therapy or mentorship. And or many times we are stuck in an unhealthy relationship and a lopsided relationship with the events of our past and the
Mm.
commentary that joins and interprets that. We would call these things parts of ourselves where we have some sort of some subconscious and sometimes conscious relationship. with those parts who are frozen in time whenever a trauma or chronic stressor happened to us when we were younger and we had less power, we were more vulnerable. But this is where grief and boundaries comes in. We have to accept our past radically. Like it, and we have to face up to what isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Because if we don't do that, we are lost in that time,
Mm.
ruminating and replaying it. And the idea of how much of our activity today and our behavior choices is based on this past that does not exist.
Mm.
I mean, it's crazy how much. So
it happens,
so we need
but
to,
it's not current.
it's not real anymore. No, all that's real
Yeah.
is what I believe about it.
Yeah.
How I remember it, what my take is on
But,
it.
yeah, which
It's,
is interesting. It's not even really about what happened. It's about the story you told yourself about what happened.
that's correct. 100%, which is actually great news because it can change.
Yeah.
So we need to grieve it, which is telling the truth and acknowledging it, like the past. The tricky thing is that we can face it through various sorts of activities, like because the physical way is typically more effective. Like this could be journaling or writing letters to our past self, or it could be going side by side with a mentor who might literally like ceremoniously throw a letter about that relationship into a burn pile as a way of doing your best to let it go. And you can then take on adventures of doing things new ways and thinking and behaving. I mean, like this thing's a whole nother book in itself, right? But one thing that is generally not helpful is to expect the voices of the past to be silent. Like even if we grieve them and learn how to face them, I mean, sometimes they go away, but a huge blessing at times that can happen, but generally they persist. But their words might mean something different to us now. If we've come to grieve it and accept what is true and face it, their words of the past and the memories of the past, the meaning could change. We could see it and be attached to it differently. And this is good news because this is how people act as well. Like what it means is that the voice might still pop up in moments of stress when you're triggered. But then we have the opportunity to say, I see you, or I notice you. But like that version, those words, they're not helpful to me. I don't know that I'm going to participate with that. So like you do your thing, like I would say to a person.
Yeah.
I might have to remove myself completely, or I might not be able to escape them, but I'm like not going to do the thing. I'm not going to participate. I'm going to do my thing, and I'm going to move on to something more purposeful, like a thought pattern, a behavior, a way of being. And so I think the reason that I wrote that was I just was really stuck on how much we just repeat patterns of the past and how we're just stuck in those grooves. But we don't have to be, especially if we treat that as a relationship.
Yes.
So
I think you should write a book.
I'm trying.
Okay. I promise to read it.
Well, that makes a couple of you. My mom, God rest her soul, is not around anymore, so I had to talk my wife into promising.
You have to. It's part of the vows.
I'd talk her into it. There's Greg Taylor in his office.
Problems.
Hi.
Well, I don't understand why y'all aren't together.
Yeah, why aren't we?
Town?
I'm in Siloam Springs. Greg Taylor's probably in Bartlesville or someplace.
Oh.
That'd be a good guess, but I'm in Stillwater. Jill, my wife, is doing her doctoral work, and she's doing a presentation today, and I'm tagging along as usual with her on her coattails.
Riding the coattails.
As it should be.
Yeah. Alison, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. And Chris, just so good to see you. So good to see you both.
I have friends that I love with my whole heart that I never see.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
You have a lot of friends, Chris.
Not okay.
So are we talking about what's stuck in my head, or are you asking me other questions about parenting or something?
I'm asking you about parenting because if there's anything you're known for is being a parenting expert.
Oh, yeah, right.
That's I mean, the reason that I thought of you, I mean, was because your kids are grown and they're awesome. And they have different challenges, and you guys are great parents, but also
Thank you.
Your approach. Yeah, your approach is something that I've really appreciated, which is not super formulaic. So I'm kind of interested in what you're going to have to say about like what you did or didn't do
Mm.
that had an amazingly direct impact on your kids like growing up and being resilient yet not perfect. So that's the question. How
We
do we
start with
raise kids that are resilient? I just I think our journeys are they have some similarities, and there's that. But our kids are close to the same age and all that. Yours are a little older. I just think you have wonderful kids. And when in our friendship, I never once, you never like offered me any advice on how to parent. You just were doing the thing.
That's
I don't
good.
know. It's like you didn't have like a, you didn't come across as parenting expert. You came across as doing it right. And like, but it was like art, it looked like when I would watch you guys, you're doing it by feel.
Well, first of all, resilience. So you want to define that. It wasn't a word when we were raising our little kids, was it? That
Right.
we make up words because cultural moment isn't enough. So we somehow resilience has been the word of the last maybe since COVID or whatever. So I just think whatever we mean by it, maybe we mean somebody that's pretty durable to know that they're loved. Um, loved deeply, but at the same time not going around in the world taking advantage of that as a privilege or some of this able to kind of rise above the stuff we all go through about ourselves.
stuff that
And
sometimes seems to crumble some people. There are
mhm,
people that they just don't crumble under it. There's this
mhm.
bounce back ability or whatever.
Yeah. And so on this side of it, as my kids are adults, I'm seeing them be able to stand on their own, and it's fun to watch. And so then it makes me reflect back, okay, how did that happen that they became like that? And I don't
Yeah.
take Jill and I don't take a lot of credit for it. It's just that we're amazed at human beings and amazed at what happens when people grow up and go through certain challenges. And so I would just rewind to a moment when it seems like when you're just raising little kids, it's just a lot of activity and work. You're just doing the thing, you're doing the routines, you're reading at night, and you're loving on them and feeding them and taking them to school and activities. And then when they get on their own a little bit at 13, 14, that's when the crisis for parenting for me hit, where I had two older daughters and a son, and I didn't have a clue how to parent teenage daughters.
Yeah.
And I watched Jill just at times having to referee two daughters, and I realized that I have to get involved because I wanted to just
You're like,
because they were like this, and even slamming the door, I hate you or whatever, and but I knew they didn't mean it. But at the same time, I knew they were doing this. They were saying, "Put out the hand," but also, "Come here, I still need you. Never leave me." And I had to figure out how to make sure I gave them space, but also they knew how much they're loved, and I'm not going to leave them. And I reached out to a book that Eugene Peterson wrote. Is very little known, maybe, but it's called "Like Dew Your Youth," and the word "dew" is DEW.
Yeah.
I've
And
never heard of that.
it's from a psalm. The title's from a psalm in Eugene Peterson sort of way. In this short moment of youth, you as a parent have a chance to grab it because it's going away quick, and not grab it in a way that you're directing your kids and sort of inculcating things into them, but you have a chance as a parent to learn something.
Oh
And,
God.
and that
Wow.
was just like, oh man, okay. Now we're raising human beings, and we're all humans together, and we're still all learning stuff. And that changed everything for us. It was just kind of like, okay, I'm a fragile, broken dad that doesn't really know what I'm doing, and my girls need to know a little bit of that without, thinking that I'm not really know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
They got to have some confidence in me, but also, yeah, I'm learning.
But that humility, I've got to believe, is
That part.
money, right? Like, I don't know. I think this feels like what I'm supposed to be doing. I could be
Mm.
wrong. We could get 6 months down the road and I realize I did not do this right. But I am
Mm.
trying the best I can with out of the love that I have for you. Like,
Hmm.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think that, well, and the humility is affiliating, like it was even all the noise that your kids are trying to kind of like work through and see the world. They don't know they're doing it because it's just super noisy when you're a teenager, just in a different way it
Mm-hmm.
is when you're an adult. But like they're kind of navigating that, and like humility is the thing that joins us. I mean, the problem that I have and that many of us have with sort of like religious institutions is certainty. Like if someone would just say, if they would just say to me, I could be wrong, but it seems like this is a good idea, or I believe this thing. I mean, it could be like if they would just qualify it just a little bit to
Hmm.
Oh,
humanize themselves in the whole situation, everything would be different.
heck yeah! Because I think our parenting was a reactionary to the James Dobson
Hmm.
100%.
approach that says if you take this biblical formula or whatever Dobson-esque formula, then your boys, you will turn out straight and good and all these things, and your girls will turn out straight and good and all these things. And we just rejected that. So then we were kind of out there and
Yeah.
grasping a
Because you
little
had
bit.
peers around you that are like, what are you doing? And
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I know what that's like. So
Yeah, and there was another one that was we don't need to go into all the details of them, but there was
sure.
another one that was kind of like very very much that kind of formula from the very infancy, and there were a bunch of churches that used it, and
Oh yeah.
I
Well, I
went
think just
it's just like oh,
formula,
yeah.
right? Like, and I think the very first thing, like one of the first things you said is like the most important part of like we're raising human beings. We're all
Mm.
human being. Like I'm a human being raising another human being. And we're not doing math. We're not we're not
Mm.
taking our dog to
Well,
be
my wife is.
to, oh, well,
Yeah,
She's a math teacher.
she's
okay, well she's
PhD in
doing
math, so
math.
there's that.
But like
Yeah.
Keep going.
formulas and like this isn't
Yeah,
a
yeah,
recipe. Like I
right.
add 30 minutes of reading the Bible before bedtime at night and I add
Right, right, right,
this and
right.
this and therefore I am owed. I put all the ingredients in and I am owed the kind of kid that I thought I was baking. Well,
I mean, there's some of
Yeah,
that. I
yeah.
mean, we were raising our kids around the same time, and we had one kiddo that was more difficult than the other kiddos. He just kind of wanted to do his own thing, which, by the way, is helping him greatly in life now that he's
Uh,
26.
uh,
But we got to a point where I'm like, wait, what are we fighting against here? Like I'm not sure what we're fighting about, and for me, I remember that, and I would see my friends like the Taylors, or I would see some other people, and like some people just really kind of had to win, and some people like just experienced humility, like the idea of being a learning individual, a moldable, a pliable, workable human being in your 40s or whatever,
mm, mm,
while you're in the middle of this, because at the end of the day, it's about you. I
mhm.
mm,
mean, whether your kids are whatever they're doing.
mm-hmm.
And that happened to us too. Like I'm just like I'm just here to love this dude, and
Yeah.
I gotta try to keep him safe. So there'll be some boundaries and stuff, and he might not love all that, whatever. But like I needed to reset and lean into what was by just so far the most important thing. Like nothing else mattered compared to my
Mm-hmm.
support and love of the kid
Mm-hmm.
of our kiddo. I saw you guys operating out of principle, and it seems usually our kids grow up and like they seem to take that on somehow.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
It's not super
Yeah.
explicit,
Yeah.
Remember these 5 things, son. You'll go far. I don't know that it works that way.
Yeah. And I remember just you wrestling with your own experience with your dad, and just how do we
100%.
deal with breaking the chain? And you did, and I don't remember all the details about your upbringing, but I know that sense of that was with me, that you were you were breaking a chain that was holding you, and you and Kristen just so beautifully raised those three kids. You kind of have the different, you had the oldest girl and then two younger boys. I had the oldest girls and a younger boy, and then our sons connected, and then we connected. And I think one of the parenting things about kids is that I regret is that we're friends and we still are friends, but we sort of like, when your children are friends, don't let that become all you've got, because you've got to keep going in your friendship. And I think
Yeah, that's real.
we've reconnected over the years without our kids, and I think that's good. However,
It is good, but it's not
infrequently,
as, I wish it was different. But that's so normal. I mean, like, think about the way that we all live and the people. I mean, if we were doing the whole hour, like I think last time we had you on, you talked a little bit about Africa and stuff. But like, you guys came into the suburbs, like your family was like well on its way. And that you had all the culture shock of that after, being super directly in the mission field. Like we came into the suburbs from camp. But my point in bringing that up is just that the way that we all live it's so kid centric and kid focused that we lose ourselves in them and in the desire to give them what they need. I mean, for me personally, like my parenting was very shaped by my absent father, but it was kind of a codependent parenting because I was just super like dead set against not being there. Like I had to be there.
yeah, you had to be there at every game, every practice,
Yeah,
every
but like it's
coach, and
it's
do all those things.
but it can be too much, because
Yeah,
if
there's
you're
times
living
that I would tell my
reactionary out of your past,
yeah. There's times I would tell my kids, "Hey, I'm not going to be at that game. Go play it for its own sake. You don't need me there."
Yeah,
And
right.
so, yeah.
I don't hear
Hey,
a lot of people saying that.
oh heck yeah. So I wanted to ask you a couple of things. How do you deal with regrets of parenting in later life? And then number two, have you all discussed on any podcast the John Haidt
Oh, Jonathan Haidt.
Jonathan Haidt book
Haidt.
on the
Anxious
anxious generation?
generation. Oh.
Alison, she has quite a few regrets, so I'll let her start.
And I am anxious. I just am anxious. I am the anxious generation. I all by myself am a generation of anxiety.
The first edition had
And
her
I
on the
regret
cover,
that.
but
And
I regret that.
I regret that about myself. I mean, so like my kids are younger than your kids, but and a unique challenge I think of our family is we're a blended family. And so my boys are my stepchildren, so I have no like DNA contribution to them, but they were in our home majority of the time. And
I mean, how old were they when you got married? They were little.
They had just turned 4. Yeah, they were 3 when we started dating, 4 when we got married. And
Twins.
I became a wife and a mother on the same day. And I think there was a lot I did in those early years. And truly, like, no disrespect to anyone, but some of it was me finding out who I was as a mother and reactionary. There were things I did that I was like just trying to not be their mom, that like their biological mom. And that's not a great way to parent. Like that wasn't a great way to parent. What they didn't need that from me. They just needed me to parent out of who I really was. And so I think I hope, boys, there's not a chance they listen to this, but if you are, hear me now.
Oh, they're listening to it.
Hear me now. They're not.
Every week.
That they're just, I feel like we adopted as a family pretty early on that the right time to course correct is as soon as you figure out you're on the wrong path, right? And so just trying to like say I'm sorry as quickly as you realize you need to, and then
huge.
adjust, right? And regret is like, I have them. I have plenty of regrets. I think regret is important sometimes to help us learn and change and move forward. Shame, I have tried to avoid at all costs. Like, I living under the label of the things I regret. I try to not do that, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, what else can you do with regret except once you realize amazing,
Well,
and there are some things that, it's way down the line. And my own parents have done this, and it's awesome. Come back and said, "Hey, I'm so sorry about that." Like,
Mhm.
um, I remember I was having a conversation with a mom who's several years older than me, and they like didn't do the Halloween thing, when their kids were little because it was satanic or whatever the deal was. And now, as like a grandma, she's like, "Why did we do that? Like, that's so weird.
Mm, mm.
Like, Halloween's fine." But like went to her kids and was like, "Hey, sorry about the no Halloween." That was our bad. That was our bad.
wait,
Like maybe
wait
you
a
should
second.
catch
I
up
just want
with your grandkids. Like, I don't know.
wait, but you said because it was satanic.
It's not anymore.
Wait, when did that stop?
In 2006.
Okay, that helps.
Yeah, it was a big year.
I was 38. Okay,
When you were 38, it stopped being.
Satan said he had had enough.
I've got a whole
Satan said
evangelical church comedy routine about Halloween and fall festivals.
Wonderful.
You know, it's like
Happy
let's
Hallelujah.
not do All Hallows Eve from the ancient church. Let's do fall festival, the moon festivals, the pagan festival at our churches.
Yeah, let's do that.
Right, let's do that instead. Right.
All things pumpkin spice.
Well, I mean, around 2006, Satan was like, I think I've had enough. Like, it's not
working.
It's just kind of not there. My people aren't committed really to the cause.
Well, by the 2006, everyone had these. So
right.
Yeah.
He's moved on. He's like, this is way more effective.
People are scrolling Twitter.
Yeah.
They're just scrolling Twitter and eating candy, and he's just like, what happened to the good old days? I think if I have regrets, it's just about presence. And I think I play a good presence game, but I'm preoccupied a lot, and it seems to be with work and things like that. And so I just, and again, I can't change if I wasn't present. And I think, and what's funny is that there have been times when I've apologized emotionally to my kids for various things, which every time they were just kind of like, "You're fine.
Just stop that."
They're like, yeah, they're like,
because I didn't need this.
Like we're
really
good. We're good.
Right.
Yeah. So and then like with Anxious Generation, I mean, I think that's a regret. I think, I'm buying what they're selling. I believe it. I think collectively, I don't know, creating space and time for free play and time, and like just not being on some sort of hamster wheel, whatever the hamster wheel is, expectations, like just like creating room, like for it to be aware and to like explore and live our lives. And I think that that sort of stuff collectively and for us, like if we do those things differently, like our collective sense of anxiety lowers. I mean, there's things to be anxious about. Like it'll keep you safe, it'll keep you alive. It just won't help you stay married.
This is a whole different podcast, so I don't know where you write down these ideas, but write it down. You said I buy what they're selling. I don't know about you specifically. I don't know that we do. I think our lives would say we actually don't buy what that book is telling us. Maybe up here we're like, yeah, that's probably true, but not enough.
You're right.
To like make our lives look different. We're really, there hasn't been this overwhelming, like, okay, this science is out there, and man, Apple has seen a sharp drop in iPhone purchases.
Right.
They haven't seen no drops. They've only seen increases. And so like, what is the thing that makes it something move from compelling science to no, this is gonna like I'm changing my life about this. And
Mhm.
and I don't know. That's a different podcast.
What
Figure
if
it out
it's,
and we'll
yeah,
talk about it.
it is, but what if
People
it's,
dying, people dying,
yeah,
Yeah.
what if it's just right now some incremental change? I'm hearing my kids, like over the holidays, I asked them, was your early, like high school, you were the first, some of the first to have smartphones. Was that overall positive or negative? And they all pretty much said negative.
Yeah. And like,
So now they're kind of doing things, and they'll, like Ashley, our oldest, said, "I'm trying to do stuff that's not on my phone. I'm trying to have some life and create and do hobbies that are not phone based."
yeah.
And she,
And
yes.
my boys worked summer camp and this past summer and they came home and they were like, kids are something's wrong with all of them. They're not smart. They can't talk to you. They can't look at you. Their handwriting
Yeah.
is
yeah, it's
atrocious.
all the teachers are saying.
And it's because of the phone. My kid is not getting a phone until, and they threw out some
Yeah, it's
official.
like a backlash that they're realizing it.
And
Yeah.
I wrote it down in my journal because
Yeah,
I'm gonna see, I'm gonna see if it sticks.
yeah.
I'm gonna see if it sticks because they
Uh,
felt it with such great conviction at the end of, week 6 New Life Ranch. But is like when push comes to shove and it's super inconvenient to go sit on the ground and play blocks with your kid and you just want to finish watching this football game, like maybe one episode of Bluey on your phone isn't that bad, you know, and like, so what is the thing that really makes us,
mhm.
and it would be interesting to know if things like phone dependence affect things like resilience. And I don't know.
Mm,
I don't know.
mm.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
and it seems
I
like,
mean, look, raised with no pain, you don't see pain as good.
yeah,
Like the potential of pain. Like, there's good pain and bad pain.
yeah,
Life has pain. And I think we've done our kids a disservice by helping them avoid pain.
because a
Phones
key
do that like
component to
crazy.
resilience, right, is doing something hard and going, oh my gosh, I'm alive. Like whatever it is.
Mm,
I went outside in the hot sun and I sweated and I'm still here. Like,
I did a thing.
yeah. And so,
Yeah, I can make
okay,
it through things.
you guys are the seasoned parents here. If I'm listening to this podcast and I'm at home and I'm like, great, fun conversation, but like actually though, I'm trying to raise a resilient kid here. What are some advice or tips or encouragements that you have?
Well, let's speak, Greg. Let's speak to our own children because we're both grandpas. Like
Yeah, it's true.
our children are raising children. What is it that we want them to maybe do or not do that might contribute to this?
Yeah, I want them to have genuine interactions with other human beings of all ages, be in whatever context that may be. Churches are great places for that because there's all ages, but there's other places for that kind of social interaction. Um, Sports is a great thing. I mean, it brings um, a lot of social with the exercise, and then you get the Chips Ahoy at the end to
And you get to
erase it
meet
all.
people. Like that's how
Yeah.
we met.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we met because our boys played soccer together.
Yeah. So I mean, there's nothing revolutionary in all that, but I think it's kind of bouncing off of getting. I saw a I saw a church marquee today that said, get your head up and out of your apps."
I like it. My daughter had an orthodontist appointment and she was like, you don't need to come back with me. But like the office is not large. So I could still kind of like see her laying down and I could hear the lady talking to her and she was answering or having a hard time answering or whatever. And or she misunderstood or something. And I felt it inside of myself. I was like, I'm just gonna go in there and then I can answer these questions for her while America's getting her mouth worked on. Or and then I was like, why in the world would I do that? Like she needs to learn how to talk with the dental equipment in her mouth.
Her
She's like,
mouth.
"Listen," not because it's a skill, but because it's just good
Fair
to,
deal.
it's just,
Plus,
yeah, like, come
plus,
on.
you're gonna spend all the money. She's gonna not wear the retainers. She's gonna lose it, and she's gonna have Invisalign when she's 35 anyway.
She pay for that
Amen.
Invisalign her
Yeah.
own self.
That's
But like,
right.
I
She
don't know. I mean,
can.
like, let your kid order at the make your kid order at the restaurant by themselves.
Mhm.
Like some of these little things that just build it, which is so silly. Like, how does that it sounds so silly, but like safe
I
ways for
think
your kid to do a
I
thing
think
themselves.
walking with them through purposefully uncomfortable adventures
Mhm.
is a big, big deal. And it doesn't have to be recreational. It could be,
Yeah.
we got a thing we got to do. I think you need a mix of that.
Hmm.
And um, I would probably affirm. I mean, my kids are like Maggie and Ryan are like, I think their whole thing is like, this kiddo is going to have experiences
Hmm.
and we're going to interact with people and there's going to be like diversity in our lives and we're going to try things, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, it's just
and
like Jonathan Hay was talking about the a playground company that said we like to have bumps and bruises, not breaks. So get your kids out there on the equipment. You'd like to have something where they can take a little bit of risk without breaking something, so that when they get out in the real world, they're not breaking something. And I don't know if y'all had read that book. A lady named Lenore Skenazy wrote some of the chapters, but she also had written a book called Free Range Kids some years back. And she
I've read
got
that.
I've heard of
she
that.
got kind of scandalized because she put her 10-year-old on left the 10-year-old in New York City to get back home by themselves on the
Mhm.
subway. And yeah, that's taken some risk. I mean, the world has changed, but that's kind of that point of the book is like we got so freaked out about the world that we brought our kids inside, and then the world in here in the phone can be as dangerous
Or worse.
or worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get them back out
Yeah,
outside, get them to camp.
let's do that.
Do you think Greg would want to come
Dude,
to adult camp?
Greg, I want to do an adult camp. I want to do a Buffalo River thing and like grown-ups.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
And
I'm in.
if you hike without complaining, you get like an ice cream bar at the end. It's like canteen. It'll be very fun.
No, it's impossible for me to hike without complaining. I'm not gonna commit to that.
Well, no Chips Ahoy for you. Sorry.
You're sorry, no chips ahoy. Hey, Greg, we're gonna move on,
We're gonna
which
move on
means the
without you,
joke
Greg.
is that we're
Thanks
moving
for
on
having
without you.
me,
So we're not gonna kick you
Allison,
off. You got to
Chris.
kick yourself off. Thank you,
Great.
Greg.
See you later. Thanks again.
Love you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Great. Bye.
That dude,
He's just the best.
he is. He is. There's so much I could say. If you're out there and you don't know who Greg Taylor is, just like Google Greg Taylor, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and
You'll
you
figure
can
it out.
find his books. You can find the 1256 movement, where his nonprofit is contributing to the building of 1,256 homes in the North Tulsa region, which is the number of homes that were burned in the Tulsa Race Massacre. And he also is, just for his income, is his family construction business. Like he's just kind of selling houses and doing stuff. And they're just him and his wife Jill. They're just great. They're just so good, um, and always thought provoking. So, well, Allison, do you feel like you got a little refreshed on raising resilient kids? Because you're kind of in the middle of that thing.
Yeah, I also just I don't know, the whole time we were talking to was just this question of are some people just born with a little more grit or resilience than others? Like, I don't know.
Maybe.
I've always just been super impressed in my own kid, like my own boys. Like, and I don't
Hmm.
really take credit for that because
Right.
I don't know, there was a certain level that they just had. They just,
Yeah.
they would go back and forth between houses and they were just, but they were just awesome. Like, and so, and like, I'm not saying that we didn't do our part on our end to try and make like home safe and good, but it just felt like there was some of it that was just in them and desperately wanting to do my part, whatever part that is that I get to play in that to ensure that in them moving forward, in Merrick moving forward. You know what I mean? Like this kind of both
Yeah.
ends.
Well, that's full circle moment, which means that we have to believe that people, including our own people, are capable of way more than any of us think, what they think. Like they're capable of making it through things they don't think they could make it through.
Mm.
And that's literally the voice of the Father in that story.
Yeah.
He's saying, my son, I love you, and all that I have is yours. Also, you're going to be fine. You know?
Welcome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Time for a blessing, and we'll get out because we're going to come back in a week.
1 week.
My blessing, same blessing.
Yep.
I'm making it a thing. I'm going to make t-shirts with it.
I think you should. Or coffee cups.
Yeah.
Or drink out of that coffee cup.
Yeah. We are no more important than anyone else in the world. Also, we are just as important as everyone else in the world. So take care of those other people and take care of yourselves, because you guys matter. You matter.
Amen. And go outside.
Go outside.
Turn
Develop
off
a relationship. By the way, I had
after
three
you
spheres.
listen to this podcast, then turn off the phone.
Right, yeah. I had like 3 spheres. Like there was like the universal, the God, like, and others and self. But like there's actually a 4th that I'm going to include too, which is like your environment, like the world. Like the world is not necessarily, it's mysterious, but it's not like universal. Like it's like, like the outdoors and things in it. And so I think that our relationship with that matters greatly. And science tells us that. You go walking outside, your mental health is going to improve.
Amen.
Even without people like us. Okay. We're going to wrap it up.
Okay. 1 week.
Time for the music. 1 week. We will see you in 1 week. Thank you so much, Alison. Appreciate you. And appreciate everybody for listening. Make sure and like and subscribe and share it with your friends who want more people to hear it, because it's just a lot of fun and helpful, I think. Today was great. All right, Maggie's playing music. We will see you guys next time. Thank you.
See you next
Bye-bye.
time. I don't know if I'm going to do that every time, but see ya. Bye.